So my last video on Morgz was uploaded over 2 years ago, and to this day, I think it is one of my better commentaries, primarily because I did a decent job at attacking Morgz's content and not his personality. Aside from a statement I made at the end of that video stating that I probably wouldn't like him in person, I kept the focus pretty strictly to Morgz's god-awful content, and this part of his channel hasn't changed in the absolute slightest. The content he makes now makes me wish that he never stopped making vlogs back in the day. But his videos are still garbage in every way imaginable. It's the same clickbait garbage cranked up to 11, and his personality in this newer style that he's been sticking with for the past year absolutely reeks of narcissism and ego. However, I'm not attacking Morgz's channel today. I'm attacking Morgz as a person because of his exploitative and narcissistic behavior that has pretty much altered any appeal that he may have once had. His channel has blown up to the point that his life has been absolutely consumed by YouTube. He no longer makes vlogs about his daily life or even has any shred of legitimate personality. YouTube is his entire personality. This is a man who has lost any hope of a life outside of his own messed up bubble. I say all of this because his personality is pretty indistinguishable from the garbage he puts out. He sacrificed any shred of creativity he may have once had simply for the sake of making the same garbage that every other quote-unquote family-friendly YouTube channel makes. I say family-friendly in quotes because none of the stuff he makes is actual meaningful children's content. It's just the same clickbait garbage used to whore out views and exploit every single person around him for attention on the internet. He almost has to do that now since the videos he's been making lately are performing nowhere near as well as they were a year ago. I'm not saying my channel is doing all that great either, because it isn't. I mean, most of my latest videos have been pretty hit or miss in terms of performance, but at least I don't whore out my family and friends for views or exploit every aspect of my life for my YouTube channel. Recently, Morgz caught some flack for a thumbnail he used on one of his most recent videos, since he got called out for this by his ex-girlfriend on Twitter, who I also talked about in my last video, as Morgz pretty much just used her for views from horny kids whose balls haven't dropped yet. He changed the thumbnail to something that didn't involve showing his ex-girlfriend's half-naked body, but he's still making sure to whore out his current girlfriend though. Wouldn't get any views from little kids if he didn't do that. Not that he's pulling many views as of late anyway. If you haven't watched Scarce's video on the topic, I would highly recommend it, but if you haven't, I'll recap it for you. Basically, Morgz's ex-girlfriend had a life outside of Morgz's garbage YouTube channel, and he didn't like that very much since she wasn't being very good for what he calls the business, which is absolutely insane when you think about it, considering she is one of the main reasons that Morgz's videos are as big as they are. This absolute goober has made probably
hundreds of thousands
of dollars in ad revenue by exploiting her in the titles and thumbnails, and the minute she challenged this authority, Morgz was angry and couldn't understand why anyone wouldn't want to support his business or even have any kind of life obligation that doesn't involve his channel. She went into detail about all of this on Twitter, and Morgz is being a butthurt baby because he doesn't know how to handle any legitimate criticism whatsoever. It's like he only saw his ex-girlfriend as a tool to get more views and absolutely nothing else. Like she wasn't a person with thoughts and feelings and a life outside of YouTube, but Morgz just couldn't accept that this may actually be the case. His entire life has been so consumed by his channel that he couldn't open his eyes and see anything else, and now he's forced to backtrack and damage control because karma's catching up to him. To put it simply, Morgz is a scumbag. He's become no different than people like the Paul brothers who have absolutely ruined this site. Any semblance of quality on the YouTube platform has been absolutely tainted by these spineless scumbags who are willing to abandon any and all morals simply for the sake of getting extra clicks. I know this is going to come as a shock to some of you, but I actually used to like Morgz quite a bit. I didn't think his content was really that funny or engaging, but I respected him as a content creator just trying to pave his way on YouTube. I admired his hustle, and he was honestly what gave me the confidence as a 13-year-old kid in 2016 to start making videos of my own. But judging by his most recent controversy and all the new details that have been brought to light by his ex-girlfriend, it's pretty clear that Morgz simply doesn't care about anything other than his YouTube channel. He exploited his ex-girlfriend for views and only saw her worth in terms of how his channel was performing, which he just views as a business at this point. Anyone who loses touch with their reality simply for the sake of boosting their own following is absolute scum, and Morgz has become the embodiment of this. It's sad to see YouTube keep falling down this path and promoting channels like this, as Morgz is absolutely a disgrace to the art of making content and what it actually means to be passionate about what you're making and not caring about anything else, just the content you're putting out there. I can honestly say without a doubt that Morgz is one of the biggest wastes of talent I've ever seen on this platform. I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. Like if you enjoyed, dislike if you didn't, subscribe for more. Peace.